Y'all ready for the Temu version of the substance? Released the same year, it's inspired by a true story. Hope Goldman is a famous Hollywood skincare enthusiast whose new product line launch is underway. She hops on a popular TV show with a host Brett and talks about her business model. Although nervous, she puts up a good show and makes the host yearn for her products. With crow's feet like that, may your product never find me. The next morning, after attending to some clients, she notices that the spot across her studio has been rented. Curious, she checks the place and realizes it is a skincare studio like hers. She then offers its owner, Angel, a gift, but takes it back when he tells her she is using his customer's parking lot. She meets with her landlord, big back geriatric Jeff, and complains about him leasing his property to Angel. Her rent is due, but she hands him a skincare product so he can give her some time to pay up. She flat out broke. Still, she tells him to kick Angel out before leaving the office. Afterwards, Hope attends to her client, Colleen, who is with a guy named Jordan. During the skincare session, Colleen, although older, talks about Jordan, saying that he is a good person to have around who probably gives her facials of his own. A few hours later, Hope stops by a restaurant to get coffee and bumps into an old friend, Jessica. They both catch up, but Hope seems pissed off when Jessica asks about the new skincare studio that recently opened up. She calms herself down with some cigarettes and then bumps into Jordan outside the restaurant. Jordan flirts with her and mentions that he did a photo shoot job for her in the past. This makes her ask about his job, and he mentions that he is a life coach. Before their meeting ends, he hands her his card offering to help her if she wants. The next day, Hope receives a video of herself that suggests she is being watched. She tries to call the sender, but gets no response. All she can hear is someone breathing like they out of breath. On her way to the studio, Colleen advises her to check her emails. When she does, she discovers that her clients received an email from her detailing how lonely she is and her desire to get dickmatized. Ignoring Jeff, Hope enters her studio, uncertain about how to handle the situation. Even her assistant, Maureen, asks if she was out drinking the night before. Maureen needs some concealer for her eye bags. In response, Hope instructs Maureen to send an email to their clients to clarify that she does not want to get dicked down. Today is also the airing of the show she did with Brett, so she sits down with Maureen to watch it. However, she is taken aback to find Angel's show airing instead of her own. That evening, Jordan drops Hope off at a restaurant to meet Brett concerning her show. During their meeting, Brett mentions that he had to ignore her segment to air Angel's because of her hacked emails. Hope can't help but feel like it's too much of a coincidence for something like that to happen to her. She tells Brett to help get her segment back on air. After dinner, Brett drives her home and tries to kiss his way into her pussy, Cat. She resists and confronts Brett for being married. He makes an excuse that his marriage is on the rocks. He offers to speed up airing her segment if she drinks his protein shake. The smart girl says she mistakenly recorded him, but she says she deleted it, making Brett feel paranoid. The following day, Hope arrives at the studio and tells Maureen that she handled the situation with Brett. She is positive her segment will air next week, but feels like Angel is the one behind the hack. Then she sees Jessica headed for Angel's store and yells at her for betraying her. Jessica can't deal with the Lifetime movie crazy, so she hides in the back. Initially, Angel tries to calm things down, but is forced to tell Hope to leave in the end. Hope says good luck with Jessica's cystic back knee. That evening, after leaving the studio, Hope sees her car tires were slashed and confides in her friend Armin to help her out. Turns out Armin shop stocks most of her skincare products. Although Armin is always happy to assist, he's unaware that he'd been friend-zoned. After seeing some strange messages on her phone, he advises her to get a gun for protection. Although when she attempts to pay for the tire repairs, Armin ignores her and tells her to reach out if she ever needs help. He then asks her out on a date but gets good night as a response. Honestly, if I was broke AF and a nice man was doing all that, I would have been down bad for him. The following day, she takes his advice and decides to get a gun. The one she picks seems cool but chooses pepper spray because of all the paperwork involved with a gun. She almost uses the pepper spray on Jeff and his Oompa Loompa grandson when they run into each other at a store. That afternoon, she attends to a client, Margaret, and thanks her for being understanding about her hacked email. Meanwhile, some guy named Jesse walks into the studio asking to see Hope. Maureen tells him to back off since he does not have an appointment, and he yells at her. As a result, Hope takes a break from Margaret to see what's going on, only to find out that Jesse wants to break her back. Luckily, Jordan arrives and helps to scare Jesse away. Afterwards, Hope checks a site and realizes that someone made a post of her craving to get raped and other aggressive things. She reports the situation to the cops and suspects that Angel is behind everything. The next day, Hope invites Jordan to her house for a free skincare session. At some point, she asks for some business advice, and he blows her mind with ideas. He takes a few pictures of her and suggests one for her social media. They end up having fun and get kind of intimate during the skincare session, and he gets a kiss in the end. The following day, Hope sees Jeff and hides to avoid paying rent. She then receives a call from Brett, who seems paranoid about the recording from the other day. He tells her he can't air the segment yet because of his producers, but agrees to do it next week. After the call, she meets Margaret at a restaurant to propose a business collaboration for her product launch. Meanwhile, a man watches her from a distance. Unfortunately, Margaret cancels on her because her schedule is fully booked. After the meeting, she heads to a clothing store to trade some of her clothes for quick cash. As she is about to leave, she spots the same man from the restaurant and feels frightened. But is it just paranoia? Once she reaches her studio, she can't help but notice that Angel is attracting many new customers. She even sees Margaret at Angel's studio, which makes her feel sad. Meanwhile, several men are messaging her, begging for a casual hookup, sending phallic pink D-pics. She ignores them all and believes that Angel is trying to ruin her. She reports her suspicions to the police the following day, but they provide no reasonable response since she has no evidence. She shares the same concerns with Jeff, but the old man is only focused on getting his rent. That evening, Hope waits for Angel to finish at his studio, and she secretly follows him home. He enters his living room and belts out a song on his home karaoke machine, completely lost in the music. He vibes to it, not knowing that Hope is watching him from outside. Then Hope calls Jordan, and it goes straight to voicemail. She then sends a message saying that she followed Angel home and feels that he is sketchy. Jordan is in his one-room apartment lifting weights to look fine. However, he looking homoerotic AF. He vibes to a song and sniffs a line of cocaine. After dancing, he gets on his computer to record some life coaching content for his clients. Shortly after, Jesse arrives at his apartment with some other dude asking for cash. At first, Jordan picks up a stick to defend himself, but he calms down when he sees Jesse. Turns out he paid him to hit on Hope earlier, and he is behind everything. I just knew that guy was sussy AF. The following day, Hope confides in him, tired of everything going on, but he suggests moving to her studio to make her feel safe. When he sees she is not buying the idea, he offers to help deal with Angel personally, and she becomes happy. After the meeting, Jordan heads to Angel's studio to speak to him. Rather than talk about Hope, he introduces himself and talks about his life coaching business. Then Angel sends him out of the studio since he isn't interested in his hoobla BS. On his way out, he calls Hope and says he has handled the Angel situation. Hope gets excited after hearing and agrees to let him come over in the evening. I'm sure that's not the only thing that will come. A few hours later, Hope finishes from the shower and proceeds with her usual skincare routine. Unfortunately, the guy from the restaurant sneaks into her house and she hears it. Scared, she takes her pepper spray and tiptoes into the living room, only to see the man going through her phone. She then attacks him with pepper spray and he runs away. Meanwhile, Jordan deletes the sexual posts he made about her on the internet. He then gets a call from her and she yells at him for making her situation worse. She complains about being followed and then adds that she doesn't need him anymore. After the call, she arrives at Armin's place and tells him everything that is going on. He listens and then promises to take care of Angel. The following day, he waits in the parking lot near Hope's studio to keep close tabs on Angel. Maureen notices that Hope is in a good mood. She ignores a call from Jordan at Hope's request and learns that the two of them had a fight. Then she receives a package from Jordan and discovers that it contains a portrait of Hope. Despite this gesture, Hope does not seem moved by the gift. Concerned about her friend's strange behavior, Maureen tells Hope to pull herself together, reminding her of the sacrifices she's made for the business. Later on, Hope receives a call from the detective, who asks to meet her in the parking lot. When she arrives, the detective shows her CCTV footage of Jordan deflating her tires. Watching this sends chills down her spine, but she fails to identify him when the detective asks. Disturbed, Hope tries to call Jordan multiple times after the meeting, but he doesn't pick up. Jordan meets Jesse that evening and asks for a favor. He wants him to attack Hope's house in 2 days so that he can swoop in and play the hero. Meanwhile, Hope calls Armin to convince him to change his mind about meeting Angel, but he does not answer. Later that evening, Armin arrives at Angel's house and threatens him. It gets violent when Angel tries to defend himself, but Armin beats the shit out of him. Hope arrives at the house shortly and is shocked to see Angel's body lying on the floor. As for Armin, he took a nasty hit from Angel and now struggles to keep his eyes on the road while driving. As a result, he gets in an accident and dies. The following morning, Hope calls Jordan and asks to see him since she is in trouble. But Jordan ends the call after hearing that something bad happened to Angel. He calls the police and tips them off, tying Hope as a suspect in Angel's case. Meanwhile, Hope's heart races while watching a bunch of cops in Angel's studio. She tells Maureen to cancel all appointments after learning that Armin is dead. One of the cops knocks on her door and informs her about an active investigation into Angel's case. While he mentions that Angel is in the hospital, Hope acts innocent to avoid looking suspicious. When he leaves, she becomes anxious and tells Maureen all that Jordan did. She hates that she does not know where he lives, but Maureen helps out with that. Hope immediately drives to Jordan's place, where she finds him packing his bags. Jordan is shocked to see her and announces that he is in love with her. However, his demeanor shifts when he realizes that Hope knows he is responsible for everything. In a fit of rage, he attacks her, but she pepper sprays the stalking ass. While he recovers, Hope picks up a bat and strikes him. All those popcorn muscles for nothing. That evening, Hope carries out her usual skincare routine after taking a shower. She knows she's in deep shit, yet carefully applies makeup to look good for the cops waiting for her arrest outside. After she gets arrested, she tells the detective about Jordan, and he gets arrested the following day. That morning, Jesse and his friends sneak into Hope's house, only to find it empty. Meanwhile, Angel ignores all attempts to share his story with the press. Later that afternoon, Brett prepares to present a segment about Hope, framing it as a scandal. Brett speaks with the man who previously entered Hope's apartment and learns that she deleted the recording. Turns out he sent this man to stalk Hope because he was uncertain if she had truly deleted the recording. With this information, Brett goes live on television to discuss the controversy surrounding Hope. Finally, Maureen is left in charge of Hope's business. So this is what Effie was doing after they dismantle of the Capitol? A bit mid for my taste, but love the twists. It's always them crazy people closest to you who be doing the nastiest things. What did you guys think of this one?
Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like. It really helps the channel.